Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Dr. Khokhar, with the program Bible Explains It All from Dallas, Texas. And today we are talking about if you want to get rich, don't we all? So we all want to get rich, and the Bible has a perfect solution for it. Again, welcome to the program Bible Explains It All by Dr. Khokhar. Now, what is the meaning of rich? When you say that you want to become rich, rich usually mean if you have something which is more than your need. Pretty much that is the definition of rich. So we already talked about this in the previous program, but there are some certain rules and there are some certain habits that you can adopt to become rich. And if I will show it to, and I will show it to you from the Bible, and this would be probably ace for you to have in your life to become rich. Now, if we know that Jews, they are the richest people on the as a nation, they are the richest people, hands down. Jews are rich. Why they are so rich as compared to other nations? And if you see, if you see the statistics, so Jews, they are very well educated also. As a nation, they're more educated than other nations. After that, the Christians, they are more well educated than as compared to other. And that's true. We will talk more further about it and explore more about it. But Jews, they are. When you see, hands down, they're richer than any nation. Is God is partial, and He just want one nation to be more richer than any other nation? That's exactly opposite to it. God is not partial. Anybody who adhere the laws from the Bible, they can become rich also. Now, I'm just going to read you exactly when this race of earning the money started in the Bible. It is because of the sin. We were living in heaven perfectly fine. There was no depression, no anxiety, nothing. And then what happened in Genesis, I'm just going to take you, Genesis chapter number 3, verse 17 to 19. So I'm just going to take you there. And if you want to open your Bible, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, poor wives, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for your, and you shall eat the plants of the field. And listen this, 19. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread. Just to earn the bread, sometime we spend a lot of years in the school to do what? Just to earn bread. And after that, the race starts. Not only that, if you look at the life of a farmer, it is really full of toil, full of hardships, full of hard working. And thanks God, nowadays, on the farmland, there are a lot of machinery. The farmers are not working as hard, but still, the farming is a hard work. So let me tell you, if you like making a bread, just to make a bread, is okay, the difference between animals and humans, animals, they will go out and find their food. And we, because we are under the curse, by the sweat of our face, we have to earn the bread. You don't see animals just going out and going to the job. It's humans. They will go to the job, they will earn the bread, they will just, the and bread is not easy to make. First of all, you have to find the land. After you find the land, and then the land has to be fertile, right? So you find the land has to be fertile, and then what happened? Then you have to plow the crop. After you plow the crop, then you just go and hopefully everything just turn out good after you plowing, after you just like and hopefully everything turns out good, then the harvest season. And in the meantime there are a lot of slips. I mean, it's not like you just, and then the harvest season come, the harvest season, you take the bread, you harvest it, you separate the grain from the chaff, then you take that grain to the mill to, I mean, it's just like a process after to grind it, then you sack it up, then you take it to the to make a dough out of it. And after you make a dough out of it, what's happened? After you make a dough out of it, you cook the bread, and almost it takes almost a year to earn that bread. Talking about the sweat of your face, it's just really, I mean, why God has put us into this situation where we have to earn the sweat. And I'm talking about to become rich, how you can get rich from the Bible. And here I'm talking about all these hardships and all this hard work. God has done all these cycles to make a bread for the fellowship, so the men, they can have fellowship with others. And that is the whole idea behind to get rich. Okay, I'm just going to tell you how that works. Okay, so the whole idea behind is that when you make that bread, to earn the bread you have to go, just like I told you the cycle in the harvest. I mean, you cannot do all, and you cannot do all by yourself to earn the bread. You have to, when you harvest you need someone, when you plow you need someone, when you are grinding the wheat you need someone, when you are separating the chaff from the grain you need someone, and to make a dough you need someone, and to cook that bread you need someone. So God wants you to have fellowship with other people. And that fellowship, if it is drawn on honesty and integrity, that is the first rule to become rich. Hmm. Now, I told you about Jews, they are rich. You know, why they're rich? If you see an average Jew, he is very honest and his integrity is very high when it comes to deal in the business dealings with the other Jews, and they uplift each other. Unlike, sometimes we try to snub other people around us, we do not want them to uplift, but that is the fellowship drawn in the honesty and integrity, is the basic principle of the fellowship in the Bible. And that principle in the Bible is the foundation of getting rich. Now, I'm just going to read some biblical verses for you this morning. If you read Psalm 112, chapter 112, verse 5, God will come to those who are generous and lend freely, who conduct their affairs with justice. God will come, good, sorry, I'm sorry. Psalm 112:5, good will come to those, like the richness will come to those who are generous and lend freely. I mean, how many times I have a wealth and I just want to become a snake on it instead of lending it to others? I don't want to do this because I think I know it all. And what happens? Okay, let me lay the foundation, and I'm just going to build on it. Okay, Proverbs 11:3. It says, "The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity." What is a duplicity? Duplicity means you're cunning, a cunning person who is just trying to, and our business affairs, sometimes we are just think that cheating other person and becoming rich is the fastest way in the lane, and that is exactly opposite to it. I'm sorry to say this, nowadays, we see that duplicity and the cunningness and the politics is just prevalent in the in our churches, in our worship places also. And we are running it as a business, the business like a con business. I'm sorry to say this. I'm not talking about all the churches. I'm talking about 99.99% worship places, churches, they're good, but probably zero point zero 0.01 or zero point 0.1 or whatever. They're probably not. That's what I'm talking about. So we are running and we are so cunning in our ways. And we think that the people around us, they do not figure out what's going on. But the people, they know exactly what's going on. People, they can figure out your duplicity. They can figure out that you're being cunning. And what's going to happen, that expel them, that will turn them off. They would find that you are money hungry and you are not the person of God. And that for that person, they don't want to do business. They do not want to just go and worship with that person. I mean, unless they have their own some kind of vested interest to come and be cunning like you to advance that business. Otherwise, but just think about this. If it comes to the business, what kind of person you want to treat with? So the person you want to treat with, if you become that person, that is the basic foundation of it. Ephesians chapter 4:25. Therefore, each of you must put off a falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. I mean, these are all, I'm just reading, the verses from the Bible. But look at this, what Jesus has done. If you do that, you become really rich. What Jesus has done, he notched up the whole idea about the richness. What he did, he said, do to others as you would have them to do to you. Now, we are just like so, and I'm talking about the politics and duplicity. Most of the time, now we in America, we started calling it a golden rule because we do not want to associate it with Jesus. It's not going to work because we say, oh, this is a golden rule. Do to others as you would have them do to you. This is a golden rule. Golden rule from where? We don't want to put Jesus in it because we know the minute we put Jesus in it, so we are accountable to do something because of that. If you say it is a golden rule and you do not put the accountability in this, that's duplicity, that is politics, and it's not gonna work. This law, Luke chapter 6:31, if you think you can build up a society by just taking Jesus out and have no count, it's not gonna work. Why? Because you're taking the part of accountability to fellowship with other people, and you say that you are not accountable to other people around you. I'm not talking about only Christians you should be accountable. I'm not talking about the fellowship drawn on only people who knows you. I'm talking about the fellowship drawn on the people that do not know you. If you can do this. Now, why did God create us? There's simple reason. God created us because he wanted to have fellowship with us. Didn't he? That was the whole reason God created us. And when you do not, and that's the where is God? Where is God? Now, if you see, if you keep, and I'm just going to tell you where is God. God is among in the average poor person, and that's what Jesus is saying. That I came to you, you did not feed me. I came to you and I was thirsty, you didn't give me water. I was naked, you didn't give me the clothes. So that is fellowship. If you start doing this, lending out justice and do all these things, so that's going to work. But there's another now if you earn the money by all those cunning ways, dishonesty, what's going to happen? The depression. Soon you will see that if you just want to keep extending yourself and not living, then the depression will follow. I mean, you see some people, they have earned their way up, but now they are depressed. And you go to the psychologist and you ask him this question. You say, oh, you're depressed. Okay, so you go to our society tells you, you just, oh, okay, you are depressed, go to the psychologist. And you know what the psychologist will tell you? Psychologists will tell you that you haven't done this right, you haven't done this right. So he will come up with all those wrongs in you that you have to fix in your mind. And that makes you more depressed. Then you probably go to, from psychologists, you go to some, uh, religious leader. You say, okay, my depression is not going, my anxiety is not going. You go to the religious leader now. You go to the religious leader, and religious leader, you know what the religious leader will tell you? You said, wait here. You have done all this wrong. Wait until the next life you are going to hell. That will make you more depressed. And then he said, if you want to fix yourself, he will give you the whole book of law. 613 laws in the Bible. Talking about the law. He'll give you the laws. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. Oh, you'll be just like, man, I guess came here. I thought, I was wrong. I've done wrong. And now I will find some rest and look at all these laws. I tell you, at that point, you need to go to Jesus, because Jesus said, Matthew 11, 28, 30, come to me, all you are weary, take my yoke and learn from me. I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Now, my brother and sister, legality will dump you into, it's not going to dump you into become rich. It will dump the society into chaotic situation. I'm not saying that you do not follow the laws. Follow the laws is the best way. We will talk about the law and grace, but the grace in this situation will set you free, and that grace you need to extend to others to become rich. You see the point I'm making here? If you want grace from the God, that grace in the fellowship you need to extend other person, and that will make you rich. Oh, okay. Let me give you an example. So the person, you become the person who is just running everything by the book, and you get stuck in some kind of difficult situation where you know that there's no way out, and the grace is the only answer. Just like, okay, let me give you an example of teaching at a class. So you just go and you go to your teacher, and now you say, I'm failing this test because he asked you to do like those 10 questions, and you only solved out of 10 you solved only 6, and the passing rate was 70. And you said, and he said, okay, I'll give you a grace, and he give you 70% to pass that exam. And then you are yourself teacher at some another place. You go there and you did not extend that grace, and you fail that person. I'm saying that if you want a grace from God, then you need to extend that grace, because you are God. God works through you. Okay, don't mistake my statement, okay? God works through you. If you start extending that grace, people will start extending the grace back to you, and that is the fellowship. If you try to do this over and over, people will start trusting you. And once they will start trusting you, the people around you become like you, and that society will become, or that group of people will become a good, rich people. And that's how Jews, they are so rich. And we think that it is just like, yes, God has promised them through Abraham that they will be under grace. And yes, God has promised them that they will be under grace, and they will live by that grace through Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, but at the same time, they extend that grace to each other. And that is because of that, they are rich. If you, within your circle, within starting with your church, within your circle, or the circle of friends, and whoever circle, whichever circle you move around, you start doing honesty, integrity, grace, you see at your business, at your workplace. I mean, you say, I'm not moving up. There's no promotion. Start doing that. You see that you will get promoted. If you're a business person, start taking these things, honesty, integrity, and grace. You will start moving up. And you will see that people would like to do business with you. Now, what is the summary? Let's summarize the whole thing. God created you to for the fellowship. Have fellowship with others like you're having fellowship with God. Fellowship should be on the basis of righteousness. And if you can adopt that principle of righteousness, which is the biblical principle, then the biblical principle of grace, not the law. Because there's one difference between Christianity or any other religion on the face of earth is grace. So then, and the third one, do not exist but live. Because existing means that you want everything myself, give me, and just keep increasing your wealth instead of keep distributing. Just give to others, to the poor, to the people they can be getting benefit of it. If you start doing this, you see that the more you will start doing it, the more the wealth will increase. And what? Honesty that creates wealth also. You may be dishonest, but that will come to halt. And what's happened? The engine won't work. If you just keep being dishonest, what would happen? That engine will stop clunking and it will be completely come to an halt. Love for all, even for the enemies. That is the greatest principle in the Bible. And that is the principle coming from Jesus Christ. If you can do this, love for all, even for the enemies, and they want you, guess what? Even your enemies would love to do business with you. Even your enemies at your workplace, they will put you up for the promotion. Because they would feel, because we are the feelings. They will feel that God is working in you and through you. God is not in the religion, my brothers and sisters. This is absolutely a wrong notion somebody has taught you. God is absolutely not in the religion, because the religion means the laws, and finding laws for each and everything, it will drive you nuts and crazy and make you depressed. God is in grace. And that's who you want to extend to. Grace. When you're extending grace to others, you are extending God to others. And I will just close with this. Matthew chapter 25 is saying, for I was hungry, you did not feed me. I was thirsty, you did not give me drink. I was stranger, and you did not invite me in your home. Do it not only for the people that love you. Do not go and find the people they don't even love you. Start extending that. You will see that with honesty, integrity, and the grace, adopting these very basic three principles, wealth will start running after you instead of you running after the wealth. God bless you all. Thank you very much for listening to this program, Bible